Hey guys, welcome back to the Echo Chamber studio where music is brought to life. Remember the last video I promised I would come on to show you my studio setup, and I am keeping that promise, guys. So I'm going to be showing you all the main equipment that I use, that the necessary ones to record or to mix or to master anything like that I do. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. The first equipment that is on my list of equipments to mention is the machine that you're working with, the laptop or the computer, whatever it is that you're working with. The laptop that I am working with currently is the Nitro 5, Acer Nitro 5. You can see it up there now. It is very good, very decent computer. I remember I think I bought this about 5 years ago, somewhere there about. Yeah, it has been. I don't think it's before COVID though. I think it was after COVID I bought this, if I'm not mistaken. I think I bought this after COVID. But yes, it has proven to be a very useful purchase. I can say that I have used this very much and to its maximum capacity. Can show you even the specs of this computer. You can see my CPU, the hertz. You can see the processing power that is behind it. The memory I installed, additional memory, came with I think 16 gigs. I installed another 16 gig to make it up to 32. It came with ROM of 400 and odd, gigabytes. I installed two additional storage centers, two additional, SSD. Well, one SSD, one HDD. You can see both of them are just about a terabyte. And then you can see the GPUs. Well, one is dedicated, 4 gigabytes, but that isn't necessary. It's mainly the RAM and the RAM that you need to look out for, and the CPU processing power. I'd recommend at least 8 gigs of RAM, and I'd say for ROM, that is storage, I'd recommend at least about 250 to 500 gigabytes of RAM, and your CPU need to be very good, at least 2.5 gigahertz. I think it is. That's how it's measured, something like that. But yeah, 2.5 thereabout upward. Nothing below that I'd recommend, at least for starting out. And the next thing on my list of items is my audio interface. So I currently use the Mo2 M2 audio interface. You can see there I have a microphone, XLR cable there, and instrument cable. I was using it last night. Very good latency, off the charts for this price range. Well, for the laptop, I think it was $800 at the time that I purchased that. And this piece of equipment, I paid about $200 at the time that I was purchasing it. Very good to record your audio into the laptop. Comes with it the audio, the adapter, which connects directly to your machine, and all those good stuff from there. Very good machine, very good piece of equipment. You can always go with like the Focusrite or some other brands that are out there. Audient has some very good ones. I can speak for those. Behringer also has some good ones that are good entry level, and more advanced ones that are out there too. I think the cheapest one, or the most affordable, I can't say cheap, affordable is the word, was the Behringer at the time. But based on what I wanted to do, the Mo2 fit that criteria better because of the latency, the input and output, the latency and the input and output, which can go as low as, I think it's three, I got something there about, but it's 3 is one of the lowest in the categories. That's all I can remember. But very good piece of equipment. The next thing that is on my list of equipment is my studio monitors. Very good, and this is a recent acquire. I recently acquired this, a recent purchase. So the studio monitors that I use, you can see them positioned at both sides of my room. They are the PreSonus PreSonus Eris 3.5 BT. BT stands for Bluetooth, so they do work with Bluetooth. They are very good. I can tell you, very, very good. For the price range. Let me not oversell these products. But yeah, they're very good for the price range, and you can EQ the boxes to get a better, flatter response and more accurate response. Because you'll find when you just get it out the box, it has a little bit of a, it's on more the high end side. You don't get a lot of low register. It has good enough bass for you to be able to listen to it, but you won't get an accurate, depiction of the level of the bass, in a song from just these. They do have a sub. I think PreSonus has a sub version for these boxes, which you can add to your setup, and you can do as you like. It's your setup, but this is what I'm working with for the time being. Both boxes, both of them work very good for me, and you can see in the photo I have here that I would have put a sock in the back, in the hole at the back of this. Don't ask me why me I do the madness there, but it's actually something I saw on YouTube, and it has really helped to mellow out the sound to give me a better sound, a more appealing sound, and it does help in mixing and mastering to have at least a decent sound coming in, so that you don't get tired and and your ears start screeching because of the type of sound that you're hearing. But it has a lot of overpowering high end, so it helps to mellow it out along with the EQ. Next on this list is my microphones. I was going to say studio microphones, but microphones. And the first one is this microphone here that I am currently using. A picture should be up now. It is a Behringer C1 condenser microphone. Very good. You're hearing that audio right now. That is what I'm speaking through, and it's very clear. So let me see something. The audio knob on the interface is about 3/4 of the way, and at that level, if I speak too loudly, then you're going to hear it screech, because it is very good. It picks up audio very well, and I could turn it down and you'll still hear me, because let me see, I turned it down some more. It is somewhere just about halfway currently, and I'm using this pop filter. It is the newer pop filter, and you're still hearing me quite decently, I assume. So no additional settings were put on this, no audio effects or any gain or any additional reverb or anything. So this is a flat sound, and it's very good. I'm getting it in the orange now when I'm looking at my dial, so very good. I turn it up so that I can stay a bit further from the mic, so that's why it is all the way at 3/4. But you can do these microphones anywhere from halfway up to get very strong audio into your DAW. The next microphone that I work with, you can see it, I think, on this side of the am I pointing right? This side of the screen, yeah. And it's a Shure PGA 48. It's a very good, not a condenser microphone this time, but a dynamic microphone which gets the job done. Very reasonably priced on Amazon the last time I checked, I think. Don't quite remember, so don't quote me on any prices. Yeah, very good, clean audio. The gain isn't the highest gain, but you can always adjust your gains in gain staging. That's that gain knob, so that you can get enough of the audio in, so that you don't have to do a lot of additional gain once you're in your DAW. Now, the next piece of my equipment, the next piece of this studio is my keyboard, my MIDI keyboard. Very good M-Audio Oxygen Pro 61. I love this keyboard because it has so many knobs, so many buttons, and in my field, I map a lot of stuff. So I map all of these knobs up there. I map the faders. I map the pads that are there to different triggers inside my DAW, so that I can have those things on the fly, and especially for live settings, very useful, very good, very, very good. So moving on from this piece of equipment, now the final pieces are, let me show my face before I pull it back up. The final pieces to this studio are the two digital audio workstations that I use. These are your software that you use on the laptop. So the two that I use, I gave it away a while ago. One of them is Ableton, and I'm pulling it back up now. So Ableton is one of those softwares that I use, very useful for live setting. Can also do very good tracking and all that kind of stuff. You have overdub, recording and all that sort of stuff. All those fancy dongles, and I think they have the version 12 that is out now. So that is a very good purchase if your machine is able to handle it. I know my machine may not be able to handle it yet. There are some things that need to be adjusted in my machine before I can even think of getting that version. But Ableton, very good. FL Studio is the next one, and this is my bread and butter, guys. Trust me, I use this more than any other DAW. Very easy. It was my first, and you can never leave your first. It is that audio workstation that really is, I'd say it has everything that you need right there. It is very simple for beginners. Your channel rack makes things easy to just tap in a beat on the drums, bass, anything like that. The piano roll is off the charts, one of the best of any DAWs that you're gonna ever see. Very awesome, very intuitive, very easy to use. I can't stress how easy this thing is to use. I love it so much. But yes, this is one of the DAWs that I use. Very convenient for my workflow. These software sometimes eat up a bit of RAM though, especially if you're using more standalone. Well, like let's say you're using Keyscape for keyboard, Omnisphere. Those things really suck the life out of your RAM, and so you're gonna need. That's why I'm saying that's why I made the disclaimer. At least 8 gigs should handle some level of load, but you're gonna realize very quickly that if you're doing a lot of work, you're gonna definitely want to get something with more processing power. But for the time being, that is what my studio looks like. That is all the equipment that I'm currently using, and I'm sure as time goes by, I'll upgrade. I'll change some items, guys. And don't worry if you're just starting out. I didn't get all of these things one day. A matter of fact, I think I got one piece of equipment each year, or something like that. Yeah, thinking back, I got the laptop first, then I got the interface sometime. I think the interface came close after or at the same time as the laptop though, because I needed them both and I was saving for both of them. So no, the laptop came first and then the interface came after. But it was a short time after. That's all I remember. And then the next year I got the keyboard. As a matter of fact, this wasn't the keyboard I was using initially. I was using the Alesis VI49. Decent board. Loved it. It had a bit of features, but I prefer this Oxygen, more mapping capabilities, and the faders as a keyboard player works wonders for your recording and fleshing out ideas. And that is just about my studio setup. I think that is just about it. And I think the boxes were the last thing I mentioned earlier that I have on my list. I bought these, I think, since here. So overall, that is my studio. I hope that for those who are starting, as I mentioned, you don't look at this and say those things are too out of my price range. There are more affordable options. This is just what worked for my current position and what I am doing now in music and where I want to go. I want to upgrade from this and not, from somewhere lower because of my requirements currently. I'm so involved, but I'm growing at such a slow pace, I think, because of my learning style. But overall, things take time. So we're there, right? Next few years, we're doing big things. But look out for some stuff that I'll be doing. I'm in the process of writing a song. Been speaking with some Christian, cohorts, and they were letting me know that there were some songs that that they want for certain contexts, and I was evaluating whether or not I have the ability to meet that demand, song-wise, genre-wise, and all that sort of stuff. So as I grow and I meet the criteria to be able to do these things, then you'll see me release a few songs here and there. And I'll probably let you hear a piece of a song that I am currently working on. Haven't released it yet, but it is something that I really want to put out there as soon as possible. I'm going to do all the mixing work, all the recordings, all the mastering for this. It's going to be my first full track, mixing and mastering, recording, tracking, and everything I'll be doing. And a lot of the plugins and stuff that I'll be using will be free. So if you want to stay tuned to see what I use, you can see that as well. A few of them are paid, like the Keyscape is a paid one. Omnisphere is a paid one. Montage, if you have a montage, the new montage, then you can get those montage sounds. There is a montage at the church I play for, so for persons who are trying to get other software, there are free softwares out there. FL Studio comes with some decent enough keyboards that can be used and tweaked, to sound more realistic and better. They have a nice closed ground, but yeah, that is my studio, and I hope that whomever stayed to the end, they would have learned something. They can take something from this video using their studios. You can send your comments. You can send me links to your work. Let me check it out. See if I can learn from you. Maybe when I release my stuff, see if you can learn a few things from what I do. Each one teach one. Blessings and love, and see you next time in the echo chambers where music is brought to life. Blessings.